The Andy Caldwell Show is sponsored in part by CoLab, the Coalition of Labor, Agriculture, and Business.
Looking out for labor, agriculture, and business each and every day. It's the Andy Caldwell Show, brought to you by CoLab.
I'd like to welcome you back to the show. We're getting a tour of Santa Barbara City College. At least that's what it used to be called. I'm now calling an ideological ghetto. That they fired their last token conservative, Mark McIntire. Mark, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Andy. Great to be here on the Voice of Reason on the Central Coast.
Well, thank you. So, I just brought up what I think the real thing going on here is, and that is you were the last token conservative. It's not that you didn't know how to teach. It's they didn't like the fact that you were teaching kids to think critically for themselves by giving them topics and viewpoints that those other professors don't want shared.
Yeah, you know, I teach critical thinking and writing. That was my main course that I was teaching. I've taught a number of courses, but when the new department chairman started evaluating me, setting me up to be fired, he actually objected in writing. I can't believe he actually put this in writing. He actually wrote down on a piece of paper in an evaluation that he recommends that I not assign politically charged topics for term papers and essays. Now, he actually wrote that. This is a critical thinking and writing philosophy class. Where else in the world can you possibly have politically charged topics talked about except in a critical thinking class?
And where else should you not have them except in college?
There's a little side part to this. I let my students choose their own topics. I never assigned a single topic ever, whether it was politically charged or not. It took me 2 evaluations and the intervention of a dean to actually get him to understand that I do not assign these topics. That's how twisted this is.
And again, the bottom line, in most colleges and universities across the land, the only quote-unquote conservatives will be found in an economics department. Mm-hmm. They are void anywhere else because of the stranglehold progressives have on these faculties, including tenure tracking boards and things like that. Yep. I believe that that's what happened to you. And in light of one of the other things, so this professor, this department chair or whatever, doesn't think you know how to teach or doesn't like what you're teaching. Right. But tell our audience about your reviews by the students.
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, he cherry picks only the few negative student evaluations. By the way, we're talking about evaluations, not RateMyProfessor.com, where I enjoy a 4.7 rating out of 5. But even we're talking about the student evaluations and surveys that are done by the college, anonymously. And even in those surveys, I get a 4.5 to a 4.7 out of 5 rating across the board in every category. But no, he finds 1 or 2 students who say, "Oh, I'm confused. Oh, I didn't know what the assignment was." And he says, "See, you don't know how to teach. You don't know what you're doing. You're disorganized. You need to be fired."
What's the community been saying to you? Because you've been a member of the community for a long time. You've got the respect of many. Are people rallying, or does the Santa Barbara City College even care?
Oh, yeah. I'm right now going through the what is called the internal grievance process. It's a 4-layered process. And if you can survive it, you might be able to go to court. That's my goal, is to go to court, because I'm not going to get a just hearing at the grievance level. That's obviously true. But right now, I'm working my way through pro forma the entire grievance process, because the first thing a judge is going to ask me when I step into the courtroom is, "Mark, have you exhausted all internal avenues of remedy and redress?" And if I say no, the judge is going to say, "Well, you should really do that." So I'm working my way through that. It'll probably be the end of July before the grievance process is finally formalized. And the last step, by the way, is the Board of Trustees. And therein lies the problem. The Board of Trustees, they are the people who from Valhalla, from on high, issue these broad social justice warrior policy statements that then the administration and the faculty are supposed to implement.
Are those trustees elected at large in the community?
What's that?
Are the trustees elected at large in the community?
Are elected by district. There are 7 districts, and they are elected. Plus, there is one advisory trustee who is a student. Their vote is not counted for anything real. It's only an advisory vote. So, yeah, every district, there are 7 districts where the trustees are elected from. And 4 of them, by the way, are up for election this year. So if anybody is really concerned about this, I invite them to see who their district member on the Board of Trustees is and have a little conversation with that individual and see what the hell's happening with Santa Barbara City College. Why is it turning into a social justice warrior boot camp?
I would love for you to send me the information on who's up for election and what you know about them, because I do think.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the deal: there's a part of me. I've not written about Santa Barbara City College as much as UCSB, but here's my problem, and this is a big problem. I am in support of the community college model 1,000% for a couple of reasons. Number one, they typically will teach people skills they can get a job while not going bankrupt getting those skill sets. Number two, one of the reasons they're affordable is most people can stay at home and continue to go to school there. Plus, they usually offer a backdoor into a major university that they'd otherwise not get into, i.e. UCSB, Cal Poly, or what have you.
That's right.
And then number 4, they're affordable. However, what's happened with Santa Barbara City College? Santa Barbara City College has turned into a magnet for kids outside the area that want to live in Santa Barbara, can't get into UCSB or have a hope to get into UCSB, thereby crowding out locals to some degree, and secondly, creating a need for housing because these students are not local to begin with. And so I got some huge problems with that. Now the fact that they're becoming this ideological wasteland of progressive values only, somebody needs to clean house.
Well, yeah, not only clean house, but taxpayers and donors to the foundation, they need to ask some serious questions. Where are my tax dollars going? Why am I supporting a sanctuary campus, for instance? Why am I supporting the indoctrination of faculty and staff and students along the liberal progressive social justice agenda to the exclusion of any other? The one diversity we do not have at Santa Barbara City College is the diversity of ideas. We have skin color diversity, configuration of genitalia diversity. We spend hours and days and money converting bathrooms to respond to the latest kerfuffle from that agenda. But we don't have diversity of ideas, and it's time that the taxpayers actually took a real good look at Santa Barbara City College.
Absolutely. We're going to be back with more of Mark McIntire. You're listening to the Andy Caldwell Show. Stay tuned.